Hey guys, this is Nick from forexnews.com with some daily analysis. Today is Wednesday, the 20th of July 2016, and the time is 11:18 here in the UK. You're looking at an AUD/JPY 3-hour chart. In today's analysis, like every analysis I do, we're going to be scanning for price action setups. The way I scan for price action setups is, and I do this several times per day, is I go through each and every pair on my list. But today we're not going to be going through GBP pairs because I am not trading them. Because of Brexit and all that uncertainty, I don't really want to get into GBP trades. But we're going to be looking at most of the pairs on my list, and we're going to be looking at each and every time frame for those pairs. Reason we look at each and every time frame is that way we can properly scan for price action setups. That does not mean I trade all of these time frames. The weirder ones up here, like the 5-hour, the 7-hour, the 9, 10, and 11-hour charts, I don't trade. All I trade is the 3-hour, 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour, and daily. So yeah, let's get started with today's analysis, see if we find any setups. Okay, starting with AUD/JPY. As you can see, it's a very simple process, just scan through. AUD New Zealand next. There was nothing on AUD/JPY, nothing worth trading as far as my strategy goes. AUD New Zealand is in between two support resistance areas, so this one and that one, so it's unlikely we're going to see anything worth trading here. AUD USD. Now, I already took a losing trade on AUD USD this week. Actually, that made the third trade in a losing streak. I am in a losing streak of 3 trades. I'm not too bothered by that. It happens. I mean, statistically speaking, I am due for a losing streak. Well, not due for a losing streak. That's not how it works. But statistically speaking, over the course of 100 trades, you're going to suffer a losing streak of about 4 to 5 trades with my win rate. So, yeah, I haven't really suffered that kind of losing streak yet, so it looks like this might be it. But anyway, yeah, I lost a trade this week on AUD USD, but it actually still is looking pretty good for a bullish reversal. Now, I took a bullish reversal on the 12-hour chart based on this candle here. And as you see, it broke the high of that candle, which was my entry. Then it came down and it hit my stop loss. But now it looks like it's reversing again on the daily. I'm not sure if I'm going to re-enter this trade. I don't really re-enter trades after they failed. And right now, the risk to reward ratio is not quite as good. Basically, let's say we were to enter at the high of this indecision candle, with the stop loss being just below the indecision candle. To get to the next resistance area, your target's going to be 1.8 roughly. I prefer a risk to reward ratio of around 2, although I am willing to accept a lower risk to reward ratio. Let me close Steam. Yeah, so I might consider entering AUD USD again, depending on how today's daily candle closes. We won't know until tomorrow, and it's really dependent on what we see over the course of the day. So I can't really make a decision now. I can't say I'm going to enter it, but I'm leaning towards not entering it. I don't really like entering the same trade twice after it failed the first time. So yeah, we'll just wait and see with this one, see what happens tomorrow. But you might want to enter it if you're willing to accept a lower risk to reward ratio than 2, and if you think this is a strong setup, then by all means, I'm not saying it's completely unsafe to enter this trade. If you look at it, it's basically showing us a nice strong downtrend heading into an area of support, and now price is stalling at that area of support. And it's stalling on the daily chart, which is quite significant because that tells us that this is a valid support area. For a whole 24 hours, price has stalled there. we could see that 12-hour candle, that 12-hour candle, and now this 12-hour candle is forming. So price is stalling there for quite some time. Does that mean it's going to reverse? Possibly. But yeah, we'll see tomorrow how that one plays out. Anyway, let's take a look at Euro AUD. I am trading Euro pairs again. After this whole Brexit thing, I was staying away from Euro for a while, but my assessment is it's okay to trade again. It looks like we're in the middle of a reversal on Euro AUD, but nothing that we can actually enter right now. Yeah, nothing worth trading here. Euro GBP. Let's get rid of that line. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Ooh, Euro JPY is, stuck at resistance there. What's that? Let's have a look at the lower time frames and see if this actually qualifies for a decent trade setup. Nah, nothing really on Euro JPY. Euro New Zealand, stuck between two support resistance areas. Could probably use some new support resistance areas, really. Let's just scan through it. I might replace these support resistance areas later today. All right, Euro USD. It's forming on support. Might look good on a lower time frame. All right, so what are we seeing on Euro USD? Strong downtrend, headed into an area of support, price stalling at the area of support. That is a good sign for a bullish reversal. But I really would rather see this on a higher time frame, which it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's happening on the higher time frames too. Okay, look, this looks pretty good. This actually does look pretty good. 12-hour chart, we've got about 10 hours until this candle closes, so this could change dramatically by the time it actually closes. Might not even be a setup. This doesn't look like your classic reversal setup, but we've got all the main points hit. We've got the strong bearish trend. We've got a support area down here, the blue marked one. And we got price stalling on top of support and forming indecision candles. I call them indecision candles. Some people call them dojis or pin bars or stuff like that. But these two candles, they indicate that price is stalling and buyers are trying to take control of price. So if this candle that we're currently seeing ends up closing exactly as it is now, which is probably not going to happen because it's got another 10 hours. So this trade, it's not a trade, this setup might not even exist in 10 hours. But let's just imagine that it's about to close in 5 minutes and it was about to close exactly as it looks now. So how would I trade it in that situation? Sorry guys, I had a phone call, so I had to pause for a minute. So let's pick up where we left off. So how would I take this trade if it closed exactly as it looks now? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Let's call this candle here the latest candle, the second indecision candle. And let's call the candle that came before that the first indecision candle. So the second indecision candle looks better than the first, but I would use the first indecision candle as my entry and my exit. The reason being is that this indecision candle shows us a recent low and a recent high from buyers and sellers. So I would want to use that recent low and recent high in order to get into the trade, because this current candle, the second indecision candle, the low of that candle is higher than the low of the previous candle. So what does that tell us? That tells us that sellers were able to easily push down to here. That means I want to have my stop loss below there. I want to make it hard for sellers to hit my stop loss. So my stop loss, I want it to be down here. So I'm going to be using this candle to base my entry and my target off of. So if it closed exactly like it looks like now, like I said, I would probably go for something roughly like this. Yeah, something roughly like that for a trade. Entry around about 1.1020, stop loss around about 1.0970, and target around about 1.1120. But like I said, you know, the chances of this closing exactly like it looks like now are slim because this candle's got 10.5 hours until it closes. So it's something worth keeping an eye on. I'm going to be watching it, but you know, it might change. So let's move that to the top of the list and keep a close eye on Euro USD. No, New Zealand JPY I think we were up to. Or did we do Euro? Yeah, we did. All right, New Zealand JPY. All right, so yeah, nothing much happening here, nothing worth noting. New Zealand USD, what's going on here? It actually looked quite good over there on the daily, but let's go up from the lower time frames and work our way up. You can clearly see prices stalling on this area of support. This looks quite good on the daily, actually. Oops. Yeah, so we got indecision forming on top of an area of support. This actually looks better than the Euro USD setup. We've got a strong bearish trend heading into a strong area of support, and we got a nice indecision candle forming. Now, it's going to be quite some time until this candle closes, the end of the day. So, you know, I don't want to jump the gun and say that this is going to be a good trade setup, much like the Euro USD setup. We're just going to have to wait and see with this one. It is a potential trade setup as it stands. I would probably, imagining again that the candle closed exactly as it looks now, I would probably trade it something like this. Yeah, you could get a good risk to reward ratio on this trade. So my entry would roughly be 0.7070. My stop loss would roughly be 0.7007, and my target would be around about 0.72, probably a touch lower than that, 0.7230 or so. 0.7220 is probably more accurate. But again, this isn't proper analysis on this setup because the setup hasn't closed yet and it won't close for quite some time. So I'll come back to this when it actually closes, and we'll look at you know, what it looks like at that point. USD CAD already had a reversal on USD CAD this week. A nice little reversal trade. Can't remember what time frame. I think it was a 12 hour, but I missed it. Ah well. 3 hour, 4 hour, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and daily, and nothing. USD CHF, let's quickly flick through this, but there's not going to be anything here because price is in between two support resistance areas right now. USD JPY. Stalling, it was stalling, but it did continue to push up, so I don't think we're going to see anything here. Yeah. And we're on to the GBP pairs, which I'm not trading right now. So that's it for the analysis today. There's nothing that I'm looking at. Nothing is actually going to trigger today, or that looks really good today. But these setups, they're probably, possibly, depending on how the candle closes, possibly going to trigger tomorrow. So yeah, today looks like a pretty relaxed trading day so far. But keep in mind that 4 hour charts change every 4 hours. 3 hour charts change every 3 hours. You get you get movements, you get indecision forming in an area of support resistance. So I am still going to be monitoring my charts throughout the day, checking in roughly every 3 to 4 hours to see the latest developments. But as it stands right now, the only clear setups I see are on the 12-hour and the daily for Euro USD and New Zealand USD. So I hope you enjoyed the analysis. I hope it was useful. I'll see you for tomorrow's analysis.